Sports.
Disco. Welcome back to Bite Size Sports. We've got a special guest, Shawn B. Welcome back, sir.
What's up, brother? How's it going?
So much better now. I am glad that you have taken a minute to join us. You haven't been around since the rebrand. How do you like things?
I like it a lot, dude. I'm digging that logo. It's very 80s retro. I'm digging that. Makes me pretty moist.
We're gonna.
But
thank
can
you.
I say moist on the show?
Thank you. Yes, you can. Yep. Absolutely. It is agreed. So we are here, and I'm sure we'll be back multiple times to discuss what the hell has happened in the NFL free agency period. I can't even keep track of it all, but we're gonna get to some of it.
Yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster for sure. A lot of moves been made. And I'm just dying to ask you. I have to know how you feel about this Carson Wentz situation. Going to Washington, inherited Mighty Ice, the whole shindig. I gotta know. What's the thoughts going with the Kevin Kess head over there at Whiteside? How you feeling about this?
All right. Well, the company, the brand's official stance is a thumbs up. There's so much to unpack to really get everything out on this, so bear with me for a minute, but overall good, right? Getting rid of Carson Wentz was a much needed move that the Colts had to make. There was just nothing there that was going to get this team to the promised land. When I think about what the Colts were able to turn Carson Wentz into, I'm happy with it. But I feel like Chris Ballard's getting way too much credit here. Everything I see is, oh, he's a genius. He was able to flip Carson Wentz in a third and turn it into Matty Ice in a second. And it's like, are we forgetting that just last year the Colts traded their own first-round pick for this guy? Like, we don't have a first-round pick this year. And so this idea that Chris Ballard is some savant, some fucking genius I'm not buying it right now. Considering all available options, yeah, okay, he probably did the best thing that he could have done. Matt Ryan is much better than, let's say, Baker Mayfield, who I'm sure we'll get to at some point. What were the other options? Jimmy G, yuck, get that out of here. Marcus Mariota. There was a time, Shawn, when I was rooting for the Colts to sign Marcus Mariota. That's what I thought their best option was before the Matt Ryan thing came apart. So, I mean, it's kind of a win. It has to be a win. This team is, they're 7th in the AFC way too early power rankings right now, just in the AFC. So they're still just sniffing the playoffs, Not really in there yet. They're just smelling the playoffs hair when they walk by. I'm okay with it. Best of a bad scenario is my official word. As an outsider with no rooting interest, what do you think? The Colts turned Carson Wentz, who has all the talent in the world but can't win an important game to save his life, choked in what essentially was a playoff game against the 2-14 Jaguars, for Matty Ice, who had a really bad season last year but had none of his weapons. What does your analytical side tell you?
I think y'all would have been better off going with Baker Mayfield, dude.
Really?
Are
we gonna do this?
Opinion. I'm just saying, man. You got Matty Ice, who's about, 4 passes away from needing an AARP card, my dude. You know what I'm saying? This dude's out here living in an assisted living facility. You know what I mean? He's an old man out there, dude. He gonna get I'm just not feeling it, bro. I mean, I know it's a temporary move, per se, but at least with Baker, you would have had a security blanket for at least a little bit longer than a season, my dude.
Not at all. So there is a world in which I understand the argument that you just made. However, Baker Mayfield's only under contract for one more season. So he is the exact Matt Ryan technically, without wanting to potentially pay extra money to Baker Mayfield, which no one seems to want to do. Matt Ryan is actually a slightly longer bandage than Baker Mayfield in this scenario. Just a tad. I mean, age. I get
you need to go to the Colts though. Like he would have re-signed a longer extension.
Dude, I want to play quarterback for the Colts. That doesn't mean they should fucking sign me. I don't care where he wants to go. This ain't about where Baker Mayfield wants to be. That has been abundantly clear. Nobody wants him. He's going to get cut. I mean, we'll get there. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but
he would look good rocking that horseshoe on the helmet, dog.
Dude.
I'm just saying, him stomping out there, slinging it, and Colts blue, my dude. I like it. I like the idea of it.
No, that's horrendous. The only color he looks good in is that puke Seahawks green. Just no, I would not. Baker Mayfield quickly became my biggest fear. So I'm going to walk you through what my life was like as a Colts fan during this offseason. It was immediate was, oh my God, we got rid of Carson Wentz. Awesome. Like, glad to see that everyone can see this is not our long-term solution. But what the hell do we do now? Oh my God, please don't let it be Jimmy G. Please don't let it be Jimmy G. Please don't let it be Jimmy G. I was rooting for Gardner Minshew for a good portion. I'm like, dude, let's go. Because, dude, when I'm thinking about the price, when I'm thinking about what was out there, what was available to the Indianapolis Colts of all teams, they have nothing to get. They have nothing to offer. They have money to sign a free agent. There aren't any valuable free agent quarterbacks. They have nothing of value to trade because they traded everything for Carson Wentz. So, and you just can't. I mean, how much more first round equity are you going to give up chasing around? I mean, there was nobody other than, you may want to argue, Deshaun Watson that would have been worth trading for, and the Colts no way had the equity anyway, nor would Houston be willing to trade inside the division. So there was no one great that they could go get. So I was on the side of, let's go get a bargain, let's draft somebody, and hope to God we land on that draft pick and we can have a good quarterback in here next year. Because
I actually read somewhere that the Colts did reach out about Deshaun, and they were instantly like shut down.
Yeah, the Colts. Yeah, that's true. That is, to my knowledge, true. And Colts fans can take no high road when it comes to the Deshaun Watson stuff. I personally am very glad that that's not where he landed. I would not want to have to deal with that on a personal level for the next several years. I don't envy Brown fans for the position that they're in right now. Another topic that I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah, I believe it or not, I know you had quite a reaction when you heard me say that for one point wanted Gardner Minshew as the Colts quarterback. I even had come around to the point where before the Davante Adams trade, I was like, oh dude, I'll take Sean's boy Carr at this point. Like, I'll take him. But there was, it quickly became clear that wasn't going to happen, that the Raiders had some plans of their own. You know what I'm saying? They got their own plans. And so, yeah, I mean, I think Matt Ryan is going to be Phillip Rivers, but slightly better. And when the Colts had that, they made the playoffs. And that was before they knew what they had with Jonathan Taylor. Here's another fun Matt Ryan fact. He is 35-7 in games where his running back has rushed for over 100 yards. He's kind of fit for this. Like, granted, he ain't getting out of the pocket. He's a
hell no.
No, you know what I mean. He's the only quarterback in the league slower than him is Tom Brady. So, but you know what you're getting, right? I don't know. I will take it. Jimmy Garoppolo scared the piss out of me. I would have been cool with Mariota for a year on a prove-it contract. I kind of like the situation Mariota's in right now, but he has some of those same questions. He's basically a cheaper Carson Wentz. All the physical tools, you got it up here, and are you going to stay on the field? Are you going to be able to play more than 3 games in a row? What do you think about old Mariota? You got more experience.
You literally just took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
I mean, he's good when he's playing, man. Like, he honestly could be a starter in the league, but the issue is his health, man. Like, that dude cannot play more than a handful of games a season. Like, it's just, Dude, he played his first year under us, so year before last. Played one game when Derek got hurt. Derek Carr got hurt, was like during a game, missed the rest of that game. Mariota came in, played like 2 quarters, played well, but then the next morning I read he's hurt. He's got like a hamstring issue or something. I'm like, he played 2 fucking quarters. Like, how did he get hurt, dude? Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? And then he got hurt at practice like 3 or 4 different times. Just like he didn't even play the preseason his first year because he was hurt during training camp. I'm like, what the fuck? So, I mean, you know, you're probably better off without Marcus Marr over there, dog. He's probably, yeah, you probably dodged the bullet with that one. I mean, Matty Ice is definitely going to put up some good numbers for y'all. He probably will get you the playoffs. Like you said, having Jonathan Taylor, I mean, I didn't know that cool stat you just dropped on us.
Cool stat, bro.
But 7, bro. Cool stat, bro. But yeah, dude, Jonathan Taylor, he's looking to be a stud. Just so you know, I will be swooping him in my fantasy league this year. You got no chance.
You know,
so
we shall see. That auction price is going to get real high.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
But I can't be, to put a cap on that, on this Colts thing, I can't be mad at them now I can be mad at them, but not when it comes to this quarterback situation. I am very upset about the lack of spending that the Colts have made. I really wish they would have done more. And there's still opportunity for them to do some more. Like, they need another wide receiver, whether it's, again,
what's their cap looking like, though? What's their cap space look like?
They had $70 million. That was the big move of getting rid of Carson Wentz, was that they found someone to take all of the cap hit. And then, yes, the Matt Ryan was only $7 million less on the cap than Carson Wentz, but as soon as he got to Indianapolis, he restructured his deal, so the cap space is back. So, I mean, they started at 70, which was most in the league. They've made one signing and made one trade, which, you know, we'll have to get into that trade here in a little bit. But
yeah,
I mean, it's there. The money's there, is all I'm saying. I mean, they still have to have a good 30-40 million that they could spend. And for my money, I know that the draft is coming, but I would love to see Jarvis Landry on a short contract come to Indianapolis. Like, that's a 2-time Pro Bowl wide receiver that could not only just be a solid number 2 option, he's a guy who can teach Michael Pittman some things. But also, so since I'm selfishly talking about the Colts offseason, one of their biggest additions was on the coaching staff. Reggie Wayne is their wide receivers coach now. So,
I seen that. That's dope. That is dope.
I mean,
that's gonna do some wonders for y'all for sure.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to receiver development. Like, I think he's really gonna help a lot with that. So if y'all pick up like a receiver or 2 in a later, like 3rd, 4th, 5th round, whatever, you don't know, you might mess around and get you an Antonio Brown in the 5th round, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, without all the craziness. You know what I'm saying?
It happens.
Talent-wise, with him.
Right.
Developed by someone like Reggie Wayne, like, dude, that's dope. Like, I seen that, I was like, holy shit.
And that's kind of why I want them to, honestly, what I'd like to see, like, I'd love to see Jarvis. That's my A plan. But other than that, bring T.Y. Hilton in on, another, just one, franchise-friendly contract. Bring Julio Jones back on a prove-it deal so he can reunite with Matt Ryan. Again, both those dudes have the same problem. Take what I said about Mariota and insert it here for T.Y. Hilton or Julio Jones. Although Julio Jones wasn't always that way, but look at what he's done over the last couple of years. People keep telling me, if I look at the tape from the time that Julio did actually spend in Tennessee last year, that I would be impressed. But I counter with, I want to see more than 6 games. I don't care how good you look on film for 6 games. I need you for 17. But anyway, I would love to have that mentorship. Like, let's stock up on receivers in the draft and then basically have Julio or T.Y. as a second wide receivers coach and somebody who lines up on 3rd downs, let's stick with the Colts and also transition into some Raider flavor. And let's just talk about the trade. We were very, very happy to find out that both of our teams were involved in a trade. It's not every day that that happens in the NFL. So, do you want to go first, Sean? Do you want to tell me more about the prize that the Colts swooped from the Raiders? Because I don't know how you feel, but I feel like my boys won this trade.
I feel like honestly, not in this. I can't think of very many times you can say this, but I feel like both teams won, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so Yannick is a dog. All right, the dude he's solid. He's gonna give you a hella pass rush. Don't you guys already? You guys got. I mean, you have Darius Leonard on back there, but who's your other pass rusher on there? Do you guys have another defensive end that's pretty dope?
We have DeForest Buckner. We don't have a pass rusher. We lost Autry, who went to Tennessee. Who'd we have before that? Justin Houston. So it's something we continue to supplement that usually each offseason. So this kind of Yannick is probably about to be that dude. We have a good front seven, but yeah, we did lose a little bit up there.
So I don't know if you knew this or not, but I think a big part of why you guys got Yannick, why it worked out the way it did, was because, Coach Bradley, you guys' new defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley and him have like this thing. They're like, it's like a father-son kind of deal. So they like really mesh. So I think he's going to give you 110% because he enjoys playing for who he's playing for. He respects his coach and shit. So I think you guys are going to be impressed with him. Like he definitely helped. Like I think he does better when he has someone opposite of him. Like having Max Crosby, like they fed off each other. Like they, one of them wasn't getting to the quarterback, the other one was, type of deal. Like it was, wheels were always turning. So you guys got a stud. You know what I mean? He's not going to scrub out for you. I highly doubt that. And then I feel like we also won because we needed somebody in the secondary. You know what I'm saying? We needed a cornerback who's not Damon Arnett, who's fucking waving his gun on the fucking Twitters and shit, and or fucking, like Nate Hobbs out here fucking driving drunk after Henry Ruggs just killed somebody doing the same shit. You know what I mean? So we just got a lot of question marks at our secondary, dude. So we needed someone, and Rocky Sin's coming off his best year, and truth be told, he's a player I was rooting for that I wanted us to draft when he was coming out of college. Like I was hoping we swoop him in like the second or third round. Type of deal. And it just never happened because, John Gruden, fucking who knows his logic when he was drafting. I never understood it, and I'm so thankful he's gone. That's a story for another day.
Rock, Sid, man. I tell you what, I never draft a player named after a rock, paper, scissors game, okay? Never draft. Okay, now, which is funny to hear you say that, so I'm going to jump in here for a minute and just talk about Rock Ya-Sin because I like Rock Ya-Sin. I will miss him. Now, if you would go to Twitter and interact with some of my Colts brethren, I don't think everyone would feel the same. A lot of talk, and this is sort of that bias, some of that self-reassurance, little soothing yourself. The big knock on Rock is the pass interference calls, which is definitely something I will acknowledge that he does need to see. We do need to see improvement on. But yeah, he's not bad by any means. I do feel that this was a situation where, as you said, it's close to a win-win. I still feel that the Colts got the better player who will have a bigger impact. But this was correct, as you said, Sean. Both teams filled a need here while not really giving up too much. Because, like you said, you guys still have Mad Max.
Player. It's not a bad deal. No picks were involved. No shit like that. So. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that, in my opinion. I thought that trade was dope. And like I said, I feel like both teams came out on top. Like, no, I don't feel like anyone got bent over on that one. So
no, absolutely. You both, I think, I said Rock has some issues to solve for. There is nothing but potential there, too. I don't think he's begun. I would say he has scratched the surface of his potential, but I don't think that he has met it by any means yet. So yeah, we could both have someone that these fan bases are excited about, and you Raiders already have somebody to be incredibly excited about with your fan base. So we might as well get that out of the way and talk about David Carr's former roommate and somebody who he owes a car to, I believe. I don't know. You fill me in on the details, man. What's the news? I hear the Raiders got themselves a playmaker.
Yeah, buddy. So Davante for the farm, pretty much. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad. We didn't give up like Browns capital. But I mean, honestly, dude, I feel like we barely gave up much at all. Truth be told, I mean, a first rounder, second rounder this year. I mean, being a Raiders fan, recent memory, like, I'm not really gonna miss those picks because chances are they'd fuck them up anyways and pick some fucking dude from a JUCO school or some shit and fuck, you know what I'm saying, in the second round. And then
I made this joke to you before, man. All they were going to use that first round pick for was to draft whichever wide receiver had the best 40 time. So at least this way you get a receiver who can actually play football. Like,
we're going fast. We can't catch the ball. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, what do you do? But anyways, I mean, I will be honest. I mean, it's a little off topic, but not even the same ballpark. Like, I know you're not a big McDaniels fan, rightfully so.
That's an understatement of the night. Go ahead.
It is. But I was very upset the day I read that's who the hire was. Like, I was probably upset for a couple days.
Yeah.
Just like legit, like sick to my stomach. I might throw up. What the fuck? Debating on if I want to even be a fan anymore. Like, maybe I should just stop watching football this year. I was that upset. I was like, man, maybe I'm done with football for a while.
I feel you.
Tearing all my Raider shit down, pulling the sticker off my fucking car window, everything. Just upset. Luckily, I have another one. I have a replacement.
You got the backup ready.
But no, I mean, all jokes aside, I wasn't happy. So, and then free agency started off really fucking slow. They didn't do much for the first couple days, and then boom, shit start hitting. I'm like, they were fucking picking dudes up left and right. And Davante Adams, that trade was a mind-blowing, like, that totally blew my mind when it happened. And again, a first and a second rounder for Davante Adams. I mean, yeah, they're paying him like fucking a lot of money, but highest paid receiver in the league type of deal. At least, I don't know now. Did Tyreek get more?
Yeah. We'll get there. We will certainly come back to that. But yes, at the time he was traded, he was the highest paid wide receiver, and it certainly had no impact on Tyreek Hill's ego. But continue.
But yeah, so I'm excited. Him and Derek Carr, like you had mentioned, have that past college teammates, put Fresno State back on the map.
Fresno isn't even a state, my dude, but here it is on the map.
Yeah, but so I mean, and Davante Adams honestly seems happy to be there, and I always like to see whenever a player gets traded, it's good to see that he wants to be there, because you can be like Antonio Brown and just get traded and then fucking just be an ass because you don't want to give a fuck about the organization. Like, he wants to be a Raider, so that's always a good thing to see. It tells me he's going to show up, he's going to put in the work, he's going to make plays for us, you know what I'm saying? So that's something I'm excited about as a fan. It's like, okay, at least we aren't just paying this dude a bunch of money to fuck off and fuck his feet up in the offseason and fucking act a fool on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually going to fucking do something for us. So I'm pretty excited about that. And they have him and Derek Carr have chemistry, so I don't think it's going to be hard for them to get back in the groove. You know what I'm saying?
More than
they train together every offseason anyway, so it's not like even though they haven't played together for 8 years, they train every offseason.
I did not know that. That's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. And I think so. Not only was he happy to be there, I think he wanted. I think that's where he. I think this was the Raiders was the number one destination. It wasn't like,
he bought a house there before he got traded.
Fair. Yeah. Exactly. Like, this was something that he knew. And now, I mean, so I feel like I know what your answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Maybe the audience can answer me in the comments. Is this more an endorsement of Derek Carr, or is it an indictment of Aaron Rodgers? Now, the money was probably something, right? But goddamn, like the idea that this dude was like, yeah, I want to go play with my boy D Carr. Like, dude, you're playing with the best quarterback that's alive right now. Like Tom Brady, longevity wise, sure, but Aaron Rodgers just won the MVP. So I mean, you can, not my MVP, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not bad by it's fucking Aaron Rodgers, my dude. So, but Davante's like, nah, I want to go play with Derek Carr. So what would you say? What do you think it is?
That's a tough one. I think it's honestly, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, honestly, on that one. Like, I think it's a little bit of mixture of both. Because I can make an argument for either one, honestly. Like the Derek Carr situation, have the history. They call each other brothers. You know what I'm saying? They're like family. The families are close. Like, I'm sure that played a part. And that's something, Davante Adams has been there for 8 years. They won a Super Bowl one time. I mean, they've been there, done that. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, he's ready to do something he would prefer to do. He's not necessarily just chasing numbers at this point. Like, he wants to off, get somewhere he wants to be. I don't think anyone would enjoy playing in Green Bay. It's fucking frozen tundra. Like, I don't want to play in that weather every year. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying.
Game in and game out. It's down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's some people prefer to be. I wouldn't want to fucking live in Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck.
Agreed.
Their team history or whatever. Like, no, I'm cool on that, bro. So I think, a lot of it did have to do with Derek, but then also, even though Eric Rodgers just signed that extension, like, dude, I mean, who's to say? I mean, from what I heard, it's actually only a year. Like, it's pretty much year to year, from what I gathered. Like, it's technically like a 4-year extension, but it's like really the way it's structured, it's like year to year. So not really having a solid, like, yes or no if he's going to be back year by year. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure probably played a part. And then the fact that, they kept fucking him around on money, but then they paid Aaron Rodgers, who's been super flaky. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pay the motherfuckers, like, it's like if you're dating 2 chicks and the one's down for you, but she's not as cute as the one that flakes out on you every other time you hang out, but you still rather be with the one that flakes out on you. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense.
That's deep.
So, yeah, dude.
I've never been in that situation before, but it sounds tough.
I don't know from experience.
I got no idea. I got no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, I feel that because I think that's worth noting in this conversation, lest we forget that Davante Adams was in contract discussions with the Packers, and it wasn't until they franchise tagged him and about, what was it, maybe it took a few days even after that, maybe even a week before he made it public that I'm not playing on the franchise tag, so now you better trade me. This isn't how we're going to do this. So it wasn't as if he didn't entertain or try to come back to Green Bay. And I will forever wonder if Aaron Rodgers took less money and decided to just live off that State Farm money, whether or not Davante Adams would have come back and if the Packers would have had a real chance. We are looking at the most lopsided, like the biggest imbalance in NFL history, in my humble opinion, when we look at the AFC versus the NFC. Just look at the quarterbacks, offensive talent. We're looking at the Miami Dolphins, if you threw them in the NFC right now, could be probably the 3rd best team. And that they still don't have a quarterback. And meanwhile, here are the Packers, who could trip backwards. If it weren't for the fact that Tom Brady had come out of, it'd be Packers and Rams, and that's it. And everybody else is well behind. And yet, the Packers managed to screw it up. Or maybe they overpaid Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers screwed it up. I don't know. All I know is everybody wants to go out west for some reason. I feel bad for you. I've heard this said, and you may argue against it, that Derek Carr is the greatest quarterback all time to ever be the worst quarterback in his division. and I mean, and I don't know. I mean, if you're giving a lot of credit to Justin Herbert, I think you're, if you're saying that, if you're agreeing with that statement, I think that would probably be the one guy you could say, hey, wait a minute, Derek Carr ain't the worst in this division.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert's going to be a stud, but I'm not going to fucking put him above Derek Carr yet. He's 2 years in, man. We'll see how it goes. But Derek, I mean, dude, it's the AFC West. Like, it's not, and it's just got even more competitive. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, he probably is, the worst quarterback in the division right now, technically. But he's top 10 in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always statistically on point. Like, I don't understand what I mean, we've had this conversation over the years so many fucking times, but I've never understood why people love to hate on Derek Carr. It's almost just like they enjoy to just hate on the guy. Like, he's not bad, man. I'm gonna sit here and say he's fucking, Peyton fucking Manning. You know what I'm saying? He's not a fucking, I wouldn't even necessarily say he's a Hall of Famer, but he's a solid QB, man. You know what I mean? Like, he can get it done for you if you give him the right pieces. Like, he can. So, I mean, dude, he's been in a situation where look who he's played with. You know what I mean? Look how fucking dysfunctional the Raiders have been for his whole career. Like, every couple of years, they're bringing a new coach or a new coordinator in, or they're doing just the goofiest shit that don't make sense. I mean, he's been on a bum-ass squad most of his career. Like, there's been a couple years where they've had a good, solid team out of 8. 6, 2 out of 8. I'll take it. Now it looks like we're on the up and up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fuck it, dude. Like, we could be, have Tua or somebody. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lot worse, my dude. We could be having Jameis Winston out here trying to sling passes down the field. Like, I'll take Derek Carr. I'll be happy with it. I think having Davante now is going to help. Honestly, I think it's going to help Derek Carr's case with a lot of people. Like, it's like, okay, now we see it, because he's got someone he can fucking depend on going down the field, man. Like, instead of just Darren Waller, you can't throw Darren Waller every fucking play.
Yeah.
And expect shit to get done.
Dude,
he's actually got some help now.
You brought him up, and that, especially with Tyreek Hill on the move, Davante Adams and Darren Waller is the new, I mean, apples and oranges here, of course, but that's the new Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce combo, where it's like, okay, we now have the best receiver in the conference, and some would argue the best tight end in the conference, because some would say that Waller has already eclipsed Kelce, and that part of what makes Kelce so good statistically is that he is the second option, and defenses choose to double cover Tyreek and leave the middle of the field open, where Waller has not had that, anything close to that. Waller's been the number one while still putting up similar numbers to Kelce. So I just can't imagine. Darren Waller could absolutely feast. He could put up the kind of numbers we've never seen before, just because of the fear of what Davante Adams could do to you. So I don't know. Right. I wouldn't want to line up against those boys too long. So yeah, we'll see. It could always be worse. You could be celebrating sliding into Matt Ryan's DMs on your squad that's got 7 Pro Bowls, but. Do we want to stay in the AFC West? There's been another really big move that kind of had to frustrate you a little bit, now that it seems that all the talent in the league just wants to play in the AFC West. We're not even talking about the Chargers' defensive additions. I was talking about a certain dangerous Russell Wilson that made his way to Denver. Some similar things to what we have felt about the Raiders offense. I'm a little scared of this Broncos offense now. If Jerry Jeudy can stay healthy, Cortland Sutton, fucking Tim Patrick, if they had managed to swing that deal and keep Noah Fant, that's nasty. What do you think? Did they wait too long? Has Russ's ship sailed, or does he have enough in the tank to make the Broncos a legit contender in your eyes?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think he's on the decline. Like, he'll be solid. Like, he's definitely gonna do more for him than fucking Drew Lock or Teddy B. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I feel you.
What a old teddy bear, dog. But
at least he's better than Drew Lock. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, I'm not gonna say he's trash. I mean, he's older, man. Like he's not the Russ he was in 2012. You know what I'm saying? He's not. I don't think he's gonna take him to the Super Bowl. But you also gotta keep in mind, I've always, and you're probably gonna, I don't know how you feel about this, but most people probably say I'm fucking batshit crazy. But
Ooh.
I've always kind of felt like Russell Wilson was a little bit overrated because my argument is the prime years for the the fucking the dynasty they had going.
Mm-hmm.
They had Marshawn Lynch running the ball. Their defense was the Legion of Boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they had all these pieces that, in my opinion, kind of put Russell, elevated his hype a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's out back. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback, but I'm just saying I don't think he's the quarterback everyone makes him out to be.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
All I'm saying is, whoops, we saw what happened when they let Russ cook. That's all I'm saying. We heard for years, you just gotta let Russ cook, and then we saw it.
Yep. You know, I mean, prime example when they passed the fucking ball instead of running it. Got to pick. Could have had another Super Bowl ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put all my money on Russell Wilson.
I also good advice. It's not what we're here for today, but I also would not put a lot of money down there either. You're not alone there. I absolutely still think, I personally think the AFC West could very well have all 4 teams in the playoffs this year. I think every other division in the AFC, you want to win, you had better just go ahead and win the division. But I don't think the Broncos are a serious Super Bowl contender just by adding Russ Wilson. I don't think there's enough there. So you're not alone in that one. Honestly, I was a little disappointed. I felt like there were other teams maybe that were just that would have at least been a little more interesting, because I don't think they did enough. Not that there is a team that I say you could, maybe the Colts, because I'm biased, but even then, if they had added Russell Wilson, I wouldn't have been like, oh God, we're Super Bowl contenders now. It's just not that sexy to me anymore. But especially not going to Denver of all places, just not speaking to my heart. And to want to make sure we get to this while we have time. We talked about speaking to people's hearts, and I know this is a man that is near and dear to your heart, and he's currently out on the street with a sign saying we'll work for progressive ad revenue. But Baker Mayfield needs a home, dude. Like, he can't make home commercials without a stadium to hawk his insurance, man. Where is Baker Mayfield gonna play, dude? I know you were.
That is the $1 million question, my dude. I've been asking everyone I know that's a Browns fan the same question, just curiosity, and they've all pretty much said the same thing. We don't give a fuck. We got Deshaun. So I don't feel like there's any love lost between Browns fans and Baker Mayfield. Like, it almost seems like the consensus feeling is like, fuck them,
which is crazy.
It's kind of crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Look, I'm not a Baker.
I mean, dude, they hadn't won a fucking game in like 2 seasons before he got there and played his first game. First game he played, he came in for injured Tyrod and got them a dub. Like, how can you? He got y'all to the playoffs.
That was the other one where I was like, dude, what about the playoffs? We haven't been in the playoffs in years and hadn't won.
I'm not gonna. I will be honest, and I've been looking forward to having this conversation with you because I want to admit, all right, because I'm a man, damn it, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I want to say I was wrong about Baker Mayfield. Okay, I used to be on that Baker train, dude. All right, I was very supportive of him. Yes, I fucking did. I spent $100 on that dude in my fantasy league. Well, it wasn't quite $100, but it was damn near pushing.
Dude, you edited a highlight clip for that dude, man. You're out here making YouTube videos for old boy, proving the case.
Right, my first and my last one I ever made, dude. That's how special it was. So
that's the way to do that.
Yeah, man, he ruined it for me, goddammit. But anyways, but no, I mean, truth be told, I think a lot of it has to do with his mentality. Like, I don't think he is mature enough. I mean, honestly, I don't think he's mature enough to be a quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he can handle the pressure of being a starting quarterback in the NFL as well as he should. Like, and I don't think it's necessarily his fault. You know, he's probably been fucking coddled a lot in his life. Honestly, he's always, got a chip on his shoulder. I'm sure he's got certain people in his ear that's, probably shouldn't be in his fucking ear and build his ego up. And he just doesn't seem like he necessarily has what it takes to be a starter in the NFL. I just don't see it anymore. I did in the beginning. I like the attitude. I like the cockiness. Like, I kind of like that in my quarterback to a degree, but there's a such thing as there's a fine line, man. There's a point where it makes you, a good leader, locker room guy. And from what I heard, most of everyone liked him except, OBJ and a couple of dudes. I mean, there wasn't overall. I felt like the team responded well to him in the beginning, but it feels as if he's kind of lost the team. Like, they just didn't look the same this year compared to last year. And I don't know, man. It's just the way he acted with the whole getting butthurt about them talking to Deshaun. It's the fucking NFL, dude. It's a business. At the end of the day, teams are going to do whatever teams got to do to make the team better. Brings in more money, puts asses in the seats, sell tickets, sell jerseys. Like, it's a fucking business. If you can't understand that, then you shouldn't be playing in NFL, bud. Sometimes you got to put your fucking feelings aside. Be a man. Grow the fuck up. Handle it like you should. Okay, take it to the chin. Didn't work out here. But if I handle myself right and I do what I'm to do, other teams might want to look at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But when you're acting like a fucking, a sixth grade pansy out here throwing the fucking fit because you didn't get to throw the ball, and he gets to throw the ball now, and they rather have him on the team. I didn't get picked first. Acting like a little bitch. Not cool, man. I'm just saying, it's irritating, dude. Like, if someone was paying me all that fucking money to go out there and throw a fucking football, you best believe I'm gonna do everything I can to keep that fucking job, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be out here making an ass of myself, even if I'm, don't do well in a certain spot. There's other places I could go on this. You can tell. I could
love
go
it.
on this.
Don't stop.
But it's irritating, man, because I did put a lot of fucking support in this guy, and he just comes in and he's just made an ass of himself. And damn it, I'm embarrassed. Should never rooted for this man.
Hey,
douche. Anyway,
for what it's worth, though, he gave something to the Browns that they hadn't had in a long time, and while I don't have faith in him, the argument is that he was hurt most of last year, and that just goes back to the age-old adage. That's what you risk when you play hurt. They want you to play hurt to take one for the team. But if you play hurt and your performance dips significantly, then all of a sudden they're ready to move past you. So some might say it would have been in Baker's best interest to just have that surgery early on in the season when he really needed it, because he certainly didn't benefit from playing hurt all season. And I don't know if it was all season, but he had shoulder surgery like during wild card week. Like, he had surgery immediately following the season. So something was clearly wrong at a certain point, and I would say the team would have been better off with a healthy Case Keenum than a not healthy Baker. I mean, he's just not physically gifted enough to be playing hurt. He's so small, he's got to use his whole body to throw the ball anyway, so it doesn't really matter where the injury is. He can't really play hurt. It's seeming like Pittsburgh's the only potential place to land, but it even seems that Pittsburgh is happy with Mitch Trubisky. They seem to think that they have found their guy, or at least the guy that they're gonna take a flyer on and use their bandage while they, maybe draft Kenny Pickett or something. I know their fans would fucking love that, but I don't see, at this point, I think Baker Mayfield gets cut, and that's the only way he makes it onto a team. I could see him. I don't even know.
There's more talk about Carolina.
That's a good option. They seem to not be, they've tried to go after several different quarterbacks. They seem to be done. They seem to claim that they're done. I don't believe that, but They have Sam Darnold and P.J. Walker is their quarterback room right now, so wouldn't be a hard job to win. Atlanta would have been on the list, but they already grabbed Mariota. I think Seattle is still on that list, but they claim to like Drew Lock, but that's just dumb. Seattle's really the only thing I see left at this point that Baker Mayfield could do realistically by the end of. I mean, even the Texans, man. Even the Texans probably have their guy, Davis Mills of Stanford. I mean, they'd probably rather run him out than Baker at this point. I think he's going to have to get bought out because the Browns. Even being a backup in Cleveland is no longer an option for him. They signed Jacoby Brissett yesterday, so like there's no more room in Cleveland for Baker Mayfield. Even if he did come hat in hand and say I take it back, like no, they got to move on from him. So now that every other team knows that, probably not going to trade. So because why would I trade him? I know you have to get rid of him, and he's due all this money. Nah, you buy him out, and I'll call his agent when he's available. Because it's not like there's that team that has that need where it's like, oh, we're this close to the playoffs, and maybe Baker Mayfield, like the Colts, right? Where Baker Mayfield's like only saving grace, right? Who was that team that really needed a quarterback and they were really close to the playoffs, and all they needed was just like a warm body. It wasn't Carson Wentz, like it was Baker. Or that was his only. There's really nowhere else he can go where it's worth taking a flyer on him. You'd rather draft somebody or play whoever else is on your roster.
Right.
Maybe he's gonna go be Josh Allen's backup, take the Mitchie Trubs route, and test his luck in free agency next year. What do you got? Would you any guesses? Any guesses? Any place you would put Baker Mayfield before we move on from this guy like the rest of the league has?
I honestly don't see anything that's like legitimate. But like I was saying, I'm Carolina. Maybe I was thinking they should take a look at them. Like Carolina, Seattle. Those are probably the two I would think most are likely to get them. But I mean, like everyone else seems set, man. Like everyone else kind of feels like they have their guy. So I don't really see too many places that he could go. The Jets are in there. Zach Wilson, I mean, he had a rough rookie season, but I don't see them giving up this early. You know what I mean? They're probably going to try him out another year and see what happens. And, I mean, it might be wise for him to just take a backup spot. Like you said, you back up somebody for a year, see what the market looks like next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a handful of teams every year that need quarterbacks. So maybe see what it looks like next year and go from there. But I mean, I don't think his NFL career is over. But yeah, it's just not going to be, the way it's been. Like he's probably going to have to kind of go the walk on route again. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to go to a team for cheap, be a backup, and try to prove himself. Like that's kind of what he's going to have to do at this point. He hasn't, he had a couple good years in Cleveland. And you made a very good point about the playing hurt thing. I think that hurt him, his career more than it helped it, which is shitty. Because, I mean, you think you get some credit for, there's a lot of players who'd be quick. Oh, I'm hurt. I can't play. This dude played with a bucket on his shoulder, like 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? He was out there doing the thing. Like, I respect that about him. I really do. But, the fact of the matter is, he had a terrible fucking year, so everyone's nervous and don't necessarily know if it's worth taking a flyer.
Yeah, definitely.
That's about all I got to say about that.
That is fair. Well, what else you got?
I had to get my voice.
Yeah, you're good, brother. So what else?
I think we pretty much covered everything. I know I would like to definitely get it back at it for maybe a part 2 later at some point, maybe a little week or 2 out after some more moves have been made.
And my vacation is over.
A little more of a recap. Yeah, dude. Kev gets back from his overseas. He's going to El Salvador. I'll get him some hookies out there or something. I don't know if that's true, but hey, that's my guess.
I don't know anything about that.
Just saying, bro.
No.
Philippines, bro.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, man, that sounds great.
The Philip. Yes. My bad, bro.
No,
Wrong show.
You're good, bro. Nice. All right, well, we'll wrap it up here. I thank you again for coming to see us, brother. We'll have you on again. Find us on the internet.
Good, dude.
Bite Size Sports.